All right, welcome back, boys and girls. I feel like we haven't done a flipped video in forever. This video is going to be a little different. There's not going to be any new content on this video. It's all going to be review just to help get us ready for that test we're going to take all over multiplication and division. So I've put our I can statement up here, which is that I can use many strategies to solve multiplication and division problems. So really this one, if you just want to work the problems out on paper, there's not really going to be a WSQ involved. It's just a review. So you don't have to worry about completing it in one session. If you need to pause and take a break and do the rest another day, that's fine. This is just to help you get ready for that test. It's been a long unit. We've covered a lot of information. So we're just going to go through and review strategically all the different skills we've learned. So make sure you got some paper and your pencil, and let's get ready to rock some multiplication and division. Okay, repeated addition was one of the very first strategies we learned for multiplication. So would you write this number sentence in repeated addition? Pause the video when you have it done and come back to check for the answer. Okay, I hope you remembered that the first number tells you how many times you are going to repeat the second number. So you should have had 5 3s. So it should have been 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 3, and then that equals 15. Okay, I'm going to give you another example to do. Let's do 6 groups of 4. Show this in repeated addition and then come back to check. Okay, again, that first number tells us how many times we're repeating the second number, so we should have had 6 4s. And that would equal 24. So this is just a review of repeated addition. You're going to see a couple questions on the test that have to do with that. So just a quick review. Arrays was another concept we learned. Man, we've learned a lot of different strategies for multiplication and division. So can you build an array for 4 groups of 3? Okay, I hope you paused the video and you're coming back to check. So you should have 4 groups of 3. Okay, remember that first number shows how many we have going down, and the second number shows how many are in each group. So 4 groups of 3 is 12. Okay, now here's my challenge. Draw me the array that shows the commutative property of multiplication. So remember, commutative property says that I can switch the factors around and I'm still going to get the same answer. So see if you can show me the commutative property and draw the array that goes with it. Pause the video and then come back to check. Okay, first off, you need to be thinking about what is the commutative property of 4 groups of 3. You should have had 3 groups of 4. Answer's still going to be the same. So a lot of times you'll see it written this way: 4 times 3 is equal to 3 times 4. And so then I should have drawn the array that goes with this number sentence. So this time it would have been 3 groups with 4 in each group. Okay, so let's do one more of those. Okay, this time I'm going to give you 2 groups of 8. So you draw the array for that, and then give me the array that is the commutative property of that, and then come back to check. Okay, this time our arrays look pretty different. So we have a mostly horizontal array, which shows 2 groups of 8, and we have a mostly vertical array that shows 8 groups of 2. Okay, so remember that commutative property says that I can switch the factors and I'm gonna still get the same answer. So my answer on both of these is 16, even though I've switched the factors around. Good job with that. Let's do some more. Okay, we spent a lot of time on the distributive property. That's what we learned the whole time we were leading up to our pizza PBL. So I've put 3 examples up here. If you remember the distributive property, then go ahead and pause the video and go ahead and work those examples and then come back to check. If you're not sure, then work this first one with me. So remember, we're going to take 43, and we're going to break it apart into expanded form. So you should have 40 and 3. And then we're going to multiply or distribute the 2 across both of those numbers. So we have 40 times 2 and 3 times 2. So to do 40 times 2, we're going to do 4 times 2, which is 8. And then we're going to add that 0 back in. Then we're going to do 3 times 2, which is 6. And we're going to add those together to get 86. Okay, why don't you pause the video and do the other 2 examples if you were working with me, and then come back to check. Okay, I've placed the answers up there. I hope that you did a good job, and we'll move on to another topic. Okay, we're going to do some practice with the associative property. Remember, that was the grouping property where we just put parentheses in different places, and anytime you see parentheses, it tells you that you're going to multiply those numbers first. If you can look at these problems, you already know what to do, then pause the video and go for it. If you want to try one with me, then just keep playing and get your pencil ready. So we're going to look at this first one. We have 2 times 6 times 5. So we're going to do the parentheses first. We're going to do 6 times 5. So think in your head what that is. You can count by 5s. So you should have got 30. And then you're going to take 30 times 2. Remember, anytime we're multiplying by 2, we're just doubling it. So 30 plus 30 is 60. So my product is 60. Okay, go ahead and see if you can do the one that's on the bottom on your own, and then come back to check. Okay, so here is the answer. I did 3 times 2, or I'm sorry, 3 times 4, which I got 12, and then I took 12 times 2, and 12 plus 12 is 24. So that's the associative property. Remember, the only thing you need to know there is if you see parentheses, you do those first. Okay, for this problem, I want you to be able to show me 6 groups of 8, or 6 times 8, in 2 different ways. So I've set up the brackets for you. Remember, we're going to pick one of those numbers to distribute into both of the parentheses, and then we're going to pick the other number and break it down into easier facts. So go ahead and see if you can solve that and find the product. Pause your video so that you can come back to check after you've done the work. Okay, here's how I decided to break this problems down. Remember, there are multiple answers. So I chose to keep my 6 because it's easier to multiply by 6 than it is 8. I broke the 8 into 4 and 4. So I got 24 plus 24, which equals 48. And then the second time, I broke the 8 apart again, and this time I broke it into 5 and 3. So I got 30 and 18, and I still got 48. So if you got a product of 48, then you probably broke your problem down successfully. Good job. Okay, there will be lots of word problems on this test. So I want you to look at this problem. It says that Billy puts 7 teaspoons of sugar in each cup. Choose the equation that could be used to solve this problem. So glance down here at these equations. And decide which one you think is the correct one. Remember, if you're not sure, you can work all those equations out and see if they make sense. So go ahead and try to choose the one that you want, and then we'll come back to talk about it. Okay, let's talk about this answer. It says that he put 7 teaspoons of sugar. So you should have had 7 in each of these cups. And immediately my brain wants to do, okay, that is 6 groups of 7. Right? That's not a choice. So I'm going to have to figure out which one of these equations would be the same as 6 groups of 7. And this happens a lot on tests where they will give you an equation that isn't what you immediately went to. So since 6 times 7 isn't there, I'm going to have to figure out where 6 groups of 7 is. So if I look here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups of 7s. So that's not my answer. If I look at these two, they're the same except for the sign that's put in here. So when we do the distributive property, remember we multiply the 2 equations and then we add them. So this one has them adding and then multiplying them together. So I'm going to go ahead and eliminate that answer because it's not set up correctly. So now I'm down to these 2, which both have multiply and then add. And I'm going to go back and look at my equation, 6 groups of 7. So if I look here, I have a 7 that's distributed, and my 3's will add up to 6. So I'm going to keep that one. This one has 7 times 6 and 7 times 6. That's related to my equation over here, but that's going to give me a really big answer. So that's not correct. You should have chosen C as your correct answer. Okay, try your hand at this word problem. So go ahead and read the problem and then solve it. Once you solve it, I want the multiplication number sentence that helps you solve it. So come back to check. Okay, when you first read this problem, it says that Jill has 15 sticks of gum and there are 5 sticks in each pack. When I think about this problem, I know the total. So that tells me that it's going to be division. So this is kind of weird. They want a multiplication number sentence to solve the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and work it out that it's division, and then I'm going to use my related facts to switch it around and make it a multiplication sentence. So 15 sticks of gum, and there are 5 in each pack. So I'm going to do groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15. So originally, I'm thinking it's 15 divided by 5 equals 3. Now, the problem, though, is asking me for a multiplication number sentence. So I'm just going to take this and switch it into its related fact. So that would be 5 times 3 equals 15. So this was a tricky problem. I had to do division to solve it, but then I had to switch it around into its partner fact family number sentence, which would be multiplication. Okay? Good job. Okay, here's one last word problem. So read this problem, decide whether you think you're going to multiply or divide, solve it, and then write the related fact that goes with this problem. Pause your video and come back to check. Okay, so I'm going to check. I've got 7 students. And they each get triple scoops, triple ice cream cones. So I don't know a total, so I know that I'm going to multiply. So I've got 7 groups of 3, and I know that the product of that is 21. So it asked me to write a related fact. So think fact families. So I'm going to turn this into a division problem, and it would be 21 divided by 7 equals 3. You could have also had 21 divided by 3 equals 7. Both of those work. Okay, we have learned so much information on this unit. Multiplication and division and fact families and just all kinds of properties, and we've worked really hard. So this video is just to prepare you for your test. So if there was any part that you didn't understand, you can rewatch that part. You can ask Mom and Dad to help you. You can come in and ask me. But I know that you've worked hard, and I'm proud of what you've learned, and I can't wait to watch you rock this test. So here's our video, or our riddle of the video. What sound do porcupines make when they kiss? Ouch! All right, I'll see you in class. Thanks. Bye.